Hi there. I thought I'd make a short video today to introduce one of the aspects of the way in which I work and give you a little bit more information about it. I'm an osteopath and I've been an osteopath in practice for the past 16 years, and I also lecture undergraduate osteopathic students in some of the subject matter which I'm going to talk to you about. I understand that it's Stress Awareness Month this month, so this also ties in quite nicely to that as a theme. So one of my specialist interests really is looking at how the mind and body are interrelated. One can't function without it affecting the other or influencing the other. In my job as an osteopath, I frequently see how presentations of pain and altered dysfunction have an emotional component. And equally, I see how injury or illness can affect the mind and emotional well-being and mental health. So over the past 16 years of practicing osteopathy, I've formulated a way of observing, palpating and treating what I call holding patterns within the body. So these are physical somatic reactions to emotional or traumatic events, and they're completely normal. This is a normal human response to react to stress in our environment. And this helps us deal with the situation at hand, enables us to survive and to cope and to get through. These are nervous system responses which are usually completely automatic. We don't think about them, and the precise way that we respond is completely unique to us, and it's often driven by a combination of past experiences, belief systems, the way that ideas were handed down to us from our parents, from our families, from our caregivers, as well as also our culture and the way that society reacts around us and the ideas that are surrounding us in day-to-day life. So in the short term, these coping mechanisms and these physical holding patterns can be very useful, but over longer periods of time, they might start to create feelings of fatigue, strain, and then pain. And what starts off as being something emotional actually then can sort of translate through into the musculoskeletal system. So this internal tension that's created from the inside comes out and it's externalized, and you might experience that as muscle or joint pain, or perhaps IBS or headaches, or even something like a sore throat. So I won't go into full depth about each and individual holding pattern that I see, but there are several, and some of them can be felt as sort of areas of tension and tightness within the body, and then others can be actually the opposite, almost that the person isn't embodied enough and that they can feel separate from their bodies, maybe in a dissociative pattern. And this is actually quite common, and the person might feel that they're not fully present within their bodies, that they're disconnected. They can feel fatigued because it takes quite a lot of energy to hold that sort of pattern, or on the other hand, they might be quite sort of stuck in a state of high alert. And there's, as I say, more information about this on my website if you want to look at a little bit more about each particular pattern or each particular state of being. So the way basically that I work is that the patient will come in and we'll do a standing observation, which isn't dissimilar to what you might expect from a normal osteopathic consultation. And we're looking at posture and the way that the person's holding, how you're holding yourself. Then the more hands-on examination involves light touch, and this is a way of, again, assessing more internal holding patterns. And you might have had the scenario where you're sitting there and somebody comes along and puts their hands on your shoulders, and you realise actually you're holding yourself quite tightly. And there's some similarity with that and the process that I do, in the fact that it's about me seeing the pattern in which you're holding. You may have some awareness of the pattern yourself, or you might not. Either is common. And then it's starting a dialogue, a sort of palpatory, a feeling dialogue with the body, which says, do you know that you're holding yourself like this? And you'll be holding yourself like that for a very good reason. You haven't done anything wrong. There's nothing bad about it. But when you've been holding this for a while, this is when the problems can occur. So sometimes the body might say, no, I'm quite happy doing this. This is serving me and is useful at the moment, and that's absolutely fine. But more often than not, which is why people have come to see me in the first place, you're in pain and you're actually ready to do something different. So then it's about working with the body to explore different ways of being, and seeing if you can move out of this stuck pattern and try something different. Now, in the same way that if you go to see a physio or an osteopath for an ankle sprain or strain, you're probably going to have to do a series of exercises more than once. And it's the same with this way of working. Some people just need a little bit of guidance, and that's really what I see my role is to guide the body into trying something different. So some people have a little bit of that and change very quickly, and other people it takes them a bit longer and they need maybe more sessions over a period of time. Both is normal, and we're all different, so it's what works best for you. And also in the same way that you would perhaps take some exercises to go home. Usually I like to work with patients and perhaps give them some things that they might be able to do at home. So whether that's some kind of meditative exercise or some mindset shifts, or it could be anything really, that can help them start to feel more embodied and free within this way of being and within their pattern. So in psychology, you can use talking therapy, and this is known as what we call a top-down approach, where you're working with the brain and emotions and working things through that way. And this is what we would call a bottom-up approach. So you're working somatically with the body to make shifts that way. And both have their place, and usually they work well together. So it's good to try both ways of doing things. And if you haven't tried working with the body before, this might be something for you to explore and to see if it can benefit and help you. So that's it for now. I might do some more videos at a later date and give you a little bit more information. But if you have any questions, feel free to email or contact me on social media. Thank you.